Okay, I'm responding to the claim that soda vending machines in schools are harmful to students. My opponent's secondary claims to this is that having soda vending machines is unhealthy for students, and 2, drinks bought at the soda vending machine drain money out of your pockets. I propose that soda beverages are not to blame for students' health. I support this by dismantling my opponent's evidence. In response to her support for Claim 1, stating that having soda vending machines is unhealthy for students, she states that sugar-sweetened beverages are the main source of added sugars. I'll dissect this by defining sugar-sweetened beverages and added sugars. I refute this statement because the primary claim here is soda vending machines and not sugar-sweetened beverages. In all of the studies that I was researching, most of them do define it as sugar-sweetened beverages. None of them really curtail down to just soda, which is probably why sugar-sweetened beverages were used in her claim. But sugar-sweetened beverages are found in many of the drinks that we consume today. For example, a few of them would be 100% juice, Gatorade, vitamin water, energy drinks, and even flavored water. According to health.gov, which has the most recent U.S. dietary guidelines published in 2010, added sugars include high fructose corn syrup, white sugar, brown sugar, corn syrup solids, raw sugar, malt syrup, maple syrup, pancake syrup, fructose sweetener, liquid fructose, honey, molasses, anhydrous dextrose, and crystal dextrose. Now this is an awfully long list of added sugars, and being that there's such a wide variety of added sugars, there's a high probability that we're going to find some kind of sugar in our drink other than water. I did a comparison of calories. Coca-Cola has 140 calories in a 12-ounce can, and Pepsi has 150 calories in a 12-ounce can, which is a single serving. I compare these to vitamin water, which has 120 calories, in a bottle, which has 2 servings. That's 240 calories. Gatorade has 50 calories, which has 2 servings in a bottle. That's 100 calories. Snapple, for the kiwi strawberry drink, has 190 calories, which in a bottle of 2 servings is over 300 calories in just a bottle. Sugar-sweetened beverages, and in my opponent's support, she also states that sugar-sweetened beverages lead to type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. In her argument, there was no stated evidence or statistics showing how these were related. Yes, there are studies out there that do show this, however, none were provided in the argument. There's the argument of empty calorie versus fat calories in food. Most beverages are considered empty calories because they do not have a fat content. Whereas if you eat a bag of chips, you have your total calories and your fat calories. Even in a can of soda, you just have your total calories. There are no fat calories. Let's see. Her third claim was that the CDC says a fourth of high school students drink soda on a daily basis. In my opinion, a fourth of high school students is not a significant number to remove vending machines from schools. Personally, in my high school, when I graduated in 2005, which makes me older than most of you, our school had 3,000 students, which means that 750 students drank soda. It's not a pretty significant number to remove these vending machines from the schools. She also says that 71% of children purchase sodas and sugar-sweetened beverages from school vending machines. This was published in an article by the American Dietetic Association. However, in a study published by the CDC in 2008, which reviewed from 2005 to 2008 sugar drinks consumption in the U.S., 52% of sugar-sweetened beverages were consumed in the home. The other 48% were consumed outside of the home. Of this 48%, 43% were purchased from the store, 35% were purchased from restaurants and foods, and the other 1.5% were purchased from schools or daycares. With such a low number being purchased from schools or daycares, there isn't really a need to remove these vending machines from schools. My opponent also states in her support claim 2 that soda does not quench your thirst, Rather, it makes you dehydrated, and that soda is addictive and a hard habit to break. There was no evidence to support this. There were no statistics. There were no there was hypothetical examples that weren't really factual and that we couldn't base to give a good enough or hard evidence support. In refute to this, I would say that you could argue different claims. Maybe that soda vending machines aren't the culprit, but that food and lack of inactivity is the reason for obesity among students. Another one would be that really the constitutionality of removing vending machines in schools, it infringes upon our constitutional rights to choose what we can and cannot drink. And if sugar-sweetened beverages and soda are such a concern, there are other variety of low-calorie and less sugar drinks out there that schools can use. Banning soda vending machines is not the answer. It lies. I'm just kidding.
All right, labeling of the claims is clear. On the first point, you basically are arguing that the advocate is conflating soda machines and other beverages, and that it's difficult to distinguish between the two and which one is accountable for whatever harms might occur. And I think that you had some good examples of the other beverages that have high caloric counts and high amounts of sugar in them that don't fit into the category of soda machines. You know, they are other kinds of things that's going on there. That's okay, and I think it works. The caloric comparison that you have between the sodas and the other alternatives like vitamin water and Gatorade and Snapple, I thought that was good factual data to show that, in fact, it is not just the sodas that are potentially problematic in this relationship. You have a general challenge on the advocate's second point concerning the relationship between those things in type 2 diabetes, and also you've got this argument about empty calories versus fat calories. I'm not sure how any of that fits into the argument, and so as a result, I think that you spent time on it and it didn't really accomplish much. The next point, though, I thought was a lot more applicable here. You tried to diminish the importance of this by showing it's a relatively small number of students that are consuming these sodas, but the vast majority of this is purchased outside of the school settings, and that the percentage of people who are actually consuming these things as a result of finding it on campus is incredibly small. I thought that that was pretty good. The other thing that I think is missing here, because you kind of hint at it in a couple of places, and I think it is a good counter-causality argument that needs to be developed, is what percentage of people's caloric intake on a daily basis comes from those sweetened kinds of drinks. If people have 2,000, 3,000 calorie a day diets, well, if they're drinking 1 or 2 sodas a day, apparently that's going to be like 240 of their calories. And if they're consuming 3,000 calories a day or 4,000 calories a day, which is far above what they need to sustain themselves, they're getting those calories some other place. That's something I think would add a little bit more context to your argument and then make your counter-causality argument a little bit more meaningful. All right, thank you.